are you seeing? Can you just talk to us a little bit about how you see distribution evolving or innovating, you see anyone innovating distribution in a manner that perhaps over 100 years ago, FMCG businesses were able to kind of help sprout Kirana stores in order to distribute their product more locally.
So you're absolutely right that distribution is often, after you get the product right, the single most important driver of growth in this country is distribution. And a great example is seeing what companies like Levers or Britannia, or to some extent Godrej, have done in the last 4 or 5 years, where they have taken distribution deep into the North Indian states of UP and Bihar, and to some extent even West Bengal and Chhattisgarh, and got huge amounts of growth, right? And that's just by coverage. And by the way, the Kirana FMCG model was created in the 60s, not 100 years ago. You were not born then, so I forgive you. But the broader point is that there is still a lot to be done in terms of covering offline distribution. Now, online is very interesting. I think one of the interesting things you see in some of the D2C brands is since a lot of them are created for the top 1%, 2%, 3% of Indians, they do really well initially online, whether it's through their brand.com or through one of the marketplaces. But then something happens when the brand touches 7,500 crores of run rate. It's almost as if they enter a valley of death. And then growth after that becomes excruciatingly painful, or it becomes incredibly expensive because suddenly your take rate goes from 35% plus to 48%. And the pass-through that's coming to your net realization is a ghastly low amount. And that's when a lot of the D2C brands say, oh shit, we need to get offline. And getting offline, even if you're looking at the top 10 cities, is damn difficult. So I think there are two different things that are happening as we speak. One is, it's very interesting to see that amongst the 30, 40 million consuming households, which is say about 160, 200 million people, in the top 40, 45 cities where a bulk of consumption happens, it's fascinating to see that search has gone online. And whether the search is for a cell phone or whether the search is for baby products or for apparel, research after research shows that almost 85% of them will search for a product and increasingly for a store online. And if you don't win in that search, then you're not even the consideration set. But a lot of transaction still gets consummated offline. And for the 5 million or 2, 3, 5 million to go to 20 million, 30 million in terms of transacting online, I think we'll have to wait a bit longer. So I have a feeling that in India, the innovation has to be almost schizophrenic. You have to win in online search, both organic and inorganic, preferably organic. But then you will need to be part of a broader pipe in order to also be present, if not in 5 million outlets, then at least in 1 million of them in the top 20, 30 cities. And therefore, I'm waiting for aggregators and distributors to arrive who will take 20 D2C brands or 30 D2C brands, which are non-compete, and cover this market. That channel partner is still to be born, and he or she will make a ton of money because a lot of these brands are ready for that expansion, but none of them have the capacity to do it on their own.
Do you think new D2C brands that have now been coming up, do you think that they should first sell online? Or do you think that they just need to advertise and be searchable online, but should immediately be offline from a sales point of view, from a distribution point of view? Do you think that they should start purely online as a sales channel, or do you think they should be in both places at the same time?
I think being online initially makes a lot of sense. And it's not just for pure D2C players. If I was a FMCG player today, Levers or Nestle or Amul, I would do all my test marketing online. You guys were Sid, you were obviously not alive then, but 30 years ago or 20 years ago, we would do test market for.
I'm sorry. No.
No, 6 months.
I was alive then, but thank you so much.
I know in 6 months or 9 months in Pune or in Vizag, these were the traditional pilot markets, and it would take 6 months, 9 months to see what happened, and all of competition would turn up and see what was being sold. But today you could do it in 6 weeks and 8 weeks online. And so I think everybody will do trial sampling, piloting online. But if you really want to win and mainstream, you will still need to be present offline. And the issue is who can justify the economics, because covering offline has implications on cost to serve, but more importantly on inventory and collections, which a lot of small brands struggle with. So I don't think it's an either or. I think it's sequenced. And the issue is really the economics of rolling out into offline.